Welcome, it's denome. Many people ask me all the time, what do I think of the CRO price, the Crypto.com token price? So in this video, I want to update my stance on the CRO, why I basically don't think it's a good idea, especially in the short term or even in the long term. But if you want to get it for the utility is still great in my opinion. I have the card myself and I use it almost daily. So the card staking is great, but as an investment, I don't think this is a good coin. And if you have no interest at all with the CRO, this video may give some insights to the tokenomics and understanding some fundamentals behind a token when you research tokens for yourself. So you may benefit from this video as well. But without further ado, let's just get started with the chart. So in my opinion, the chart is actually looking decent. This is actually looking good in my opinion. So if we take a look at the chart here, it has been dumping a lot from its all-time highs here, basically $0.2, and it bottomed here about $0.05. So that was a big dump that it took, and it looks like it has pretty much already bottomed out, and now we have a bullish triangle pattern here. So this is looking good for the price of CRO, and if this actually plays out, this triangle, that would actually bring the price to about $0.13 per CRO. So all in all, the chart is looking great, and even if we add a volume here, you can see there's a lot of buying volume during this bottoming out pattern. So this is really good for the potential price increase of CRO as well. So all in all, the chart is looking great. The RSI is looking great as well. I have no issues with that one myself. So all in all, the chart is looking good. But why I do think this is bad in the short term, I will talk about that next. Later on, I will talk about why I think it's not great in the long run either. And then we talk about the utility, because the utility is still great in my opinion. So in the short term, why I don't think this is good is because I believe there will be a dumping in 1 week from now. So there was something called MCO to CRO swap. So for those of you who don't know what the Crypto.com ecosystem is, what everything is, you can get these card tiers, and they have been flip-flopping these back and forth. And previously they had two tokens. They had CRO token for basically for the exchange and for the Crypto.com pay. But all these card staking were done with a token called MCO. But they wanted to get rid of the MCO, so they announced suddenly, to everyone's surprise, that they will be swapping the MCO to CRO. So MCO will basically be taken out of the circulation, and there was probably some price manipulation involved and so forth. So the price of MCO was super low, while the price of CRO was high when this happened, and so many people are not happy how this went. So this happened on 3rd of August 2020. And as you can see here, if you take a look at below, you can see that there was something called early swap bonus for CRO for people who did this swap. So you got 20% more CRO if you accepted the terms and did the swap. And many people did this swap on the first 3 days when this was announced. So when that happened, you were eligible for this early swap bonus, which means that both your Crypto.com exchange staking and your card staking were locked for another 6 months, starting from the day that you accepted this swap. So what this means is that 6 months from the 3rd of August, a lot of people will unlock their CRO on both the exchange as well as on the card staking. Only users basically in United States don't have this issue because they weren't able to access the exchange. So if you were in the United States, your CRO that you got as a bonus from this was only locked for 3 months in the earn plan. But everyone in Europe and in Asia, if you had a previous exchange stake, that was also locked in for another 6 months. So a lot of people are unlocking their CRO here. And if we take a look at the date when this happens, is 180 days from the 3rd of August is 30th of January this year. So in basically 4 days, many people will start unlocking their funds, and I do believe many will want to sell it as well. Because if we take a look at Chris Marsalek's tweets here, you can see that this tweet was on December 18th, and a lot of people, by the way, Chris Marsalek is the CEO of Crypto.com. So a lot of people are saying here that I'm a former customer the February 1st. Basically, he's going to dump his coins as soon as possible when his exchange staking and card staking are released. Same me, I will do the same. Literally the worst CEO possible, worst person in crypto. Glad to see someone else saying this. Explanations, what do you think of the price of CRO? And all in all, there's a lot of distaste for the CRO token, especially after it already dumped, because the swap was done here on the early August, basically at the peak moment where at the highest price of CRO, they announced the MCO to CRO swap, and since then the price hasn't recovered. So for that reason, I do believe many people will want to sell their CRO. So that's the reason why I do believe, even though we are in this bullish formation, that this will be broken downwards, because many people will probably want to sell. I could be wrong here. Maybe not that many people want to sell it, but you have to also understand that everybody that had an account before August basically had to accept these terms. So that's why I do believe many people took advantage of the early swap bonus and will be dumping their coins. So that's why I do believe it is bad for the short term. Unfortunately, I don't know any way how you can short this coin. If you can short this coin, please let me know in the comments how you can do that, because I would definitely want to do that. I usually don't short anything, but I do believe that this coin will go down on 1st of February, and maybe even up to like 5th of February, something like that. But even in the long term, let's talk about that one next. Even in the long term, I don't think this is a good investment coin. It is good for utility. I will talk about that later. But for investment purposes, if we take a look at the Crypto.com coin, you can see the circulating supply is 22 billion tokens on the market, and the total supply, maximum supply, is 100 billion tokens. And out of these tokens, if you actually take a look at their addresses, let's actually talk about the white paper first. So this is the distribution that they have released, how they will be distributing these tokens. 10 billion tokens were for community development, and 30 billion were for secondary distribution and launch incentives. But they actually withdrew most of these incentives for early adopters. So if you were holding MCO, you were supposed to get airdrops of CRO, and they canceled that basically after 1 month already. So they didn't release these tokens. So most of the CRO tokens are actually held by Crypto.com. So this plan that they had here didn't really play out. And they have been limiting the amount of rewards they give to individuals through the DeFi swap, through the card staking and exchange staking. So those staking tier levels have been lowered as well. So most of these tokens are held by the company itself. These 60 billion tokens that are locked here on network long-term incentives, capital reserve, and ecosystem grants, these are actually frozen until end of 2022, except the ecosystem grant, which will be unfrozen when the Crypto.com chain mainnet actually launches. And that should launch maybe Q1 of this year, so it should launch soon. So even when that launches, it just means that there will be more inflation of this token, because now they can start to give basically free money for projects and companies to develop on the Crypto.com chain. So all in all, it's good and bad that the mainnet actually launches. It's good that everything is running on the blockchain and there's lower fees and all that kind of stuff. But bad is that there will be a lot of inflation for the token as well. So now if we actually take a closer look of these tokens, let's go to the CRO. Actually, let me, I didn't have it here. Let's go back to here and let's go to the holders page. So on this holders page, you can see everyone who is holding CRO tokens, and you can see that the Crypto.com, basically they are the biggest holder of this coin. So Crypto.com actually holds how much of this coin? 60%, 70%, 80%, 83%. 83% is held by Crypto.com. And how they basically release this is by giving it to companies, projects through the ecosystem grants. They have to pay salaries for their employees, as well as they give staking rewards for individuals. And if you buy Crypto.com tokens on their application, I believe they will be selling from new supply of CRO to you. So that's basically how this gets distributed. So this is just like a, if you would be harsh to say something, it's like a massive dumping on the investors, because there's a lot of sell pressure from the projects to actually fund their actual project. They don't want to just hold the CRO token, as well as there's a lot of sell pressure from the actual employees, because they don't probably want to hold it as well. They have to pay rent, and you cannot pay the rent with CRO currently. And there's also sell pressure from the investors who are not happy with the price performance of CRO either. So all in all, I see a lot of downward pressure from the inflation and from the short-term view as well. And we don't know how much all of this CRO that is here is actually held by CRO Crypto.com itself. So even though it says Huobi or Bittrex or OKX, some of these CRO is actually owned by Crypto.com as well. So most of the supply is just massively held by Crypto.com. So even though the price is high here, it's high only because people are willing to buy this coin. So that's basically it. And even if we take an even closer look, you can see, let's take a look at, was it this one? Yeah, so this is a account. I think it's this one, 10,800, 10.8 billion tokens. This is a wallet that actually gives out CRO tokens, 16 million CRO tokens every single day, back to their Crypto.com multisig 7 wallet. So this is the secondary launch incentive wallet here, and when it enters the multisig 7 wallet, then it's basically free to use, so Crypto.com can use this coin however they want. And if we take a look at the multisig 7 wallet, it's this one. This already has 5 billion tokens at which they have not been able to sell yet. So they are just stacking these CRO tokens massively on their wallets, but they are not actually selling these from this wallet at least. So you have to go to basically page 7 here to see that they are sending any money from this wallet. So they are just hoarding this CRO for themselves for now. So page 7 now we are here. So here you can see that they have sent some millions of CRO away from this wallet, but they are just stacking a lot of CRO here. And I don't really know why they are doing this, why they are not selling, why they are just hoarding. Is it because they have some other plan for the CRO here, or what is it? But all in all, if you take a look at the how XRP was classified as a security, it basically came down to that it's not decentralized enough, and that the founders were dumping their coins on the market. And this is basically the exact same situation with CRO as well. So I don't really see in the long term how they can recover from all this inflation. And when this inflation hits the market, oh, by the way, there's one more thing I have to show here, is this wallet here. So this wallet has 6.3 billion CRO as well. And this is actually the Community Development Token Fund. So I don't exactly know how they are supposed to use this, but as you can see, they every now and then send about 166 million CRO tokens to different wallets, individual wallets. So every time you look at this wallet, the number changes. So if you take a look at the newest wallet here, and let's take a look at the like this wallet here. So the newest wallet is just holding the 166 million CRO tokens. So this is, as far as I understand, just held by Crypto.com themselves, and they can still use it basically for anything they want, but they're just holding 166 million tokens here for some reason, and I don't know what the reason is. And the older one, you can see that they have basically spent most of the CRO from that wallet 600 days ago. So they use this money for something, but I don't know exactly what. But as you can see, a lot of these CRO tokens are just held by the Crypto.com company still. Even that one, which is, when was this? 1 year ago this was sent to this wallet, and they're just holding it for some purpose, maybe to dump it someday, or we don't know. So all in all, Crypto.com just holds most of the coins on the market, and they sell just basically enough to keep the price stable. So all in all, the inflation is just so massive for this coin that even though there are a lot of people buying this coin and they have a massive growth, and the team is massive, the inflation for this coin is just so big that it is very hard for you to actually capture the value of this growth. The real value is captured by the company, and that's what you can see whenever you watch an AMA with Crypto.com, is that they're always talking about the company, how good the company is doing, and how well the company has been able to convert users, and how many users they can keep there, and how much fees they can collect. But as a CRO holder, you don't actually benefit from any of that, because the value that the company generates doesn't come back to the stakers. At least I don't know any reason how it would come back there. So all in all, I don't think this is a good short-term investment, and in the long term it's not looking great either, in my opinion. But for the utility, if you just want the card, the cards are actually decent. So I have the 50,000 CRO card, but back in the day when I was able to get it, it was only 10,000 CRO. So they have increased the staking tiers for this one as well, but still the card is decent. This one actually cost quite a bit, so current price is I think $3,500, but for the Ruby card that's $350. So if you wonder how valuable these are, I made this calculator some days ago. So if the price of CRO is $0.07, you can see the different card tiers here. If you spend about $800 per month with this card, you get the Netflix, the Spotify cashbacks and so forth. You can actually get your money back with the Ruby Red card after 1 year. So even if you hold this coin, 5,000 for the Ruby Red card, the reward that you get is actually pretty decent. And even if you get the 50,000 Jade card, that's still decent. But I would not do the exchange taking. I would just not do it. Even though the APY here looks good, you just have to hold the CRO coin, which has massive inflation. So I would not recommend this. So the only ones that I think are good are the Ruby Red card and the Jade Purple card, if you want to get the cashbacks from the purchases and the free Spotify and Netflix. And with the Jade card you can get these staking rewards as well. So those are the only cards that I could recommend here during this bull run. I think there are many better coins out there which have much better utility, basically don't have any inflation on the token at all. But Crypto.com, to me, maybe it can go here to 0.13, maybe it can go here to back to $0.2, but all in all, I just don't think it can compete with the price increase of Bitcoin or Ethereum or almost any other coin on the market. So for that reason, I just wanted to highlight some of the issues that the Crypto.com ecosystem has, and that they're not really giving the value to the customers themselves. They're just keeping most of the value for the company, and they are dumping their coins to the market as they grow. Anyway, that's my update on the CRO price and what do I think of this. So in the short term, it's bearish. In the long run, it may be stable because a lot of people are actually downloading this app. I think it was in 2020 the second most downloaded crypto application on the whole app store on iPhone. So yeah, a lot of users are coming to the platform, which is definitely shown on the volume here as well compared to the volume that we had last year. So that's just my opinion of Crypto.com. I can be wrong here, but at least in the short term, I'm quite bearish on the price of CRO, just because many people will want to sell their CRO, including me, by the way. I definitely do want to sell it if the price is decent. So because I don't need the exchange staking for anything. I have 100,000 CRO stake there, so I don't need that. So I did the MCO CRO swap here as well. So I was also suckered into this one as well. But that's my honest opinion of CRO ecosystem and the price. And let me know in the comments what you think about this one. If you disagree, if you agree, what do you think, how the CRO mainnet will affect things? And let me know if you think this information in this video is valuable or not. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video.